Greetings, fellow Wendigo. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Biotech, The First Wendigo, Episode 71, Enhanced Defenses. First thing I want to do this stream is to poll you all about the quest that we have. So we have this ally in the crosshairs. Inalore is requesting a favor. A 63-year-old mathematician named Vey pissed off an ancient supercomputer, and 2 clusters of double size will deploy nearby. Vey will be paralyzed and will be with us for 11 days, and here are the rewards. Do we accept 2 double-sized clusters as a quest? Keep in mind that if I accept this, it means that my hands will be somewhat tied for a while, dealing and preparing for 2 double-sized clusters, but you're welcome to vote yes or no. If you'd rather see progress made towards the Wendigo project, vote that instead. And the poll is missing? Oh no, it's just offset. Here, we're ready. Push! There it is. There's the poll. And you guys can decide whether we accept this or not. It is pretty good rewards, but the rewards for resources that we kind of already have access to, like gold and plasteel and uranium. But it's, again, up to you. And then after this poll passes or doesn't pass, I'll have you guys decide some other things potentially. Would the infinite chem be useful? It would, but it doesn't actually generate a ton of resources. So as much as it would be useful, it's not that big of a deal, considering we can just grow rice or butcher animals or something for chem fuel. Chem fuel is not that tricky to come by. I'm going to change the recharge settings of these robots to 10% rather than 5%, so that they're... Because we've had incidences of them running out of power, and at 10%, they're less likely to run out of power before recharging. Unfortunately, despite the fact that I just set MIDI to full 100% recreation, MIDI just went on a daze, not having enough of it. So be it. And set MIDI on Campbell meals, not whatever. Yeah. And I think I will set all of them to scheduled drugs now. Except for Bryzit, who's not old enough for drugs yet. No, Bryzit's 18. I take that back. There we go. All right. I would like to sync up the eggs in the egg extractions. So instead of extracting immediately, I'm going to wait until the last person... The longest cooldown is cooled down, which I think is probably 6 days or so. So that's the current plan. Oh, I also wanted to update Fangface's zone, paramedic bot, to include the nutrient paste dispenser, because that way Fangface can actually start feeding people. So another thing that we're doing is we're currently researching flesh shaping, and that's so that we can give Wendy a nose. Mass took her nose off in a social fight. She fed on him, or her, as a result, but that wasn't so friendly. We did find a whole lot of steel here. Well, let me start butchering these bugs, too. In the mountains, but it would be good to make sure that we're always on the lookout for precious resources. Would not be a bad idea. And I'm going to go ahead and tell Orange Chaos to join the work group to unrestrict, and I'm going to send Orange Chaos to mine up some additional mountains adjacent to the base to allow for greater building area. Office Viking, I like your name. Thank you for the resub, and Glitch for the bits. Welcome. Looks like this poll is likely to fail. If you haven't voted yet, please do, if you'd like your votes to count. And with flesh shaping obtained, let's get a aesthetic nose for Wendy. Made by any crafter that has more than 10 skill, i.e. no mechs. No mechs. This guy still has 19 days until death due to the lack of go juice, so no rush there. Let me see what egg is the longest cooldown. So we've got 5 days, 6 days, so it's maybe the impid with 6. 2 days, 5 days. Oh, no, Mawwub at 10 days would be the longest. I had just extracted Mawwub. Okay, well, it's going to be a minute. And then with Mawwub's egg here, I might as well fertilize it. There is the thought that I could start to try to fertilize eggs that aren't good enough for the project, the genetics project, which is weird that my overlays aren't working right now. What is going on here? There we go. So there's a lot of pigskin genetics that we're trying to avoid, like trotter hands, pig nose, and pig voice. But what we could end up doing is really a lot of my controls on my end are not working. What we could do is, even if there are some eggs that don't meet the criteria, as long as they have the positive genes, it might be worth us gestating them anyway, so that we can get at least closer, because it has been a while since we've had some successful egg extractions and fertilizations. So it looks like we are ignoring this ally in the crosshairs. Got it. What should the priority be then? I've added one new option here, which is take on major projects. So instead of taking smaller projects, if you want me to do something big, like some massive overhaul, you can vote for that. And there is a sub-poll that determines a few different major projects potentially to be undertaken. I think I'm going to have Brysette fertilize Mawwub's egg. A little different, because Brysette has germline genes and is not baseliner like T-Sing is. But the idea with this is that it's possible that we get some good hybrid out of it. Maybe. I wouldn't hold my breath about that, but it's possible. It's certainly possible. Some good old-fashioned mountain shaving. Yep. 'Tis what I'm known to do. The other thing I might want to do is smooth the surface of this hallway here, because it's been chipped away by combat and runs the risk of breaking and allowing enemies to ingress. That would not be so good. Hey, Office Fighting! Not only the resub, but gifted subs. Cheers! I appreciate it. Might be time to make a few lavish meals to improve mood. I don't think you understand Wendy's motivations here. Without any disrespect, she could not care any less about the mood of her disciples unless it affects their job performance. And if it does, beating them is far more likely the solution than feeding them nice food. Lest you forget we are evil, being nice is not really in the cards. Full stop. Okay, well, Zenbiotic. Apparently, Orange Chaos, you are obsolete now. So go into your obsolete hidey hole, because Zenbiotic is gonna do the mining faster and more efficiently without the use of pollution or power. Alright, looks like we're going to be taking on a major project. I like it. So what major project to take on? Before you vote, I can explain these 3 projects. So overhauling the lackluster defenses. What this would look like would be a far better perimeter wall. If you recall, the perimeter wall they threw up here was like maybe in the first stream or second, and it really is not very good. There's holes in it. It's very delicate. It's been broken many times. One of the things I would like to do is to funnel enemies into minefields that are not sappers and breachers. So I would like to design, or at least not breachers. I would like to design a perimeter defense that is hardened with a much better maze than this hunk of junk, so that any organics incoming that are not breachers or sappers are very, very easily dealt with. And if they are, in fact, breachers or sappers, then I would have minefields that would potentially kill them off anyway. Ramping up the egg extraction and vat growing facilities would be designing a much better system than this piecemeal weird farm layout thing that I've got going on. So that could be a big, big project. Or add more mechs to the colony, because Mass has bandwidth, Rhadamant has bandwidth, and Wendy has bandwidth. But that would likely require us to farm some mech bosses, hence it being a major project. I did just get IEDs, or I can get IEDs after getting Circadian Influence, so yeah. That's always a possibility. And of course, the projects that we undertake are voted on. That's easily forgotten. But yeah, we are voting on the projects, not just doing what is commented in chat or YouTube comments or wherever. All right, that looks good. The aesthetic nose is done, and Wendy is currently asleep, so let's get that installed while she's asleep. And that means Fang Face, you're unrestricted, so that you can install that nose. Good. I think what I want to do is move this shelf here and then mine a little tunnel in this location so that we can more quickly access the fire spots, because our fire spots are annoying to get access to. It also appears to me that oh, well, let me fix this thing. It appears to me that our hauler bots don't have much to do at the moment. So I'm going to fix that as well. So this is going to be called Slate Chunks 1. Really just stone chunks is fine. I should have done this long ago, because it's easy to do. Alright, and then over here, I'm going to put slag. The base is getting a little, full of stuff. Alright, cool. Let's start having the hauler bots haul slag. We don't really need the steel, but all of this slag out in the map tile here might as well just eventually get hauled in towards base so that we can put it to use and smelt it down. Looks like we're gonna overhaul the lackluster defenses. Okay. Awesome. That's a project I can get behind. So let me think about this. I would like to shrink the footprint, as odd as that might seem, and then change the entryway so that the fire maze is maybe a little bit easier to deal with. And that means doing a whole lot of stuff all at once. So I will be building up a plan here in just a second. So if I wanted a fire maze, I could leave the kill box here. One of the advantages of the kill box here is it takes a long time to get to, so it allows for the colony to have a maximum amount of time to react to incursions. So that actually works pretty well. I don't really have to move this. Oh, I also wanted to mention one other thing, and it totally lapsed my my mind, is that turrets, I was wrong. They now benefit from cover. I'm not really sure when the update went out that changed that, but it's true now. I tested it myself, and providing barricades and other things like that for turrets is beneficial, so I will be redesigning this a little bit to accommodate for that difference of game mechanics, and it's actually pretty it's pretty different. So I'm excited about that, at least. So we'll keep the kill box here for now. It might need to expand a little bit to accommodate slug and autocannon turrets at some point, but I'm not really going to worry about that in this iteration. We can always improve upon that in the future. One of the other things that we need for perimeter is if we're going to incorporate this deep water, which we historically have, I would need moisture pumps. If we don't want to include the deep water, there's only so much room to put a wall here. So I think it's probably best to incorporate the deep water, which means changing our current research to moisture pumps, or if we have them, building them. No, I don't have them. So let's research moisture pumps. And that's going to allow us to have non-wooden walls, which is a huge vulnerability as far as perimeter defenses go. All right, and then I want some sort of sensible wall up here and not whatever this nonsense is. And then also to double it up so that if there is a wall breach, we don't all of a sudden have like a huge incursion of enemies, because that is really annoying when that happens. So something like this, where how much I have 400 granite. Okay, something like this, where we double it up like that, and probably introduce additional entry doors. So I'm going to do an entry door out here, and one over on the west. Like that. And that way, if there are just enemies that don't have a way to get inside, at least it takes a little bit longer to get through these walls. This western wall here needs to be entirely stoned up. It's currently steel, and that's very flammable and not very decent. And that will be the start. And that means that Wendy here is going to go on construction rather than research. So let's turn off the ground pen scanner and have her start building. Still a little woozy. Oh, you, like the stupid robot that you are, ran yourself out of power. Good. And yeah, there is, we'll be fixing the eastern section soon as well. As well as this section here, probably walling off this whole cave to some degree or another, so that we don't have to really deal with the people coming in through the caves. I like where this western wall is. Just to make it look nicer, I might bring it all the way down like this instead of having it cropped out. Oh, and that's a door. Whoops. It's supposed to be a wall, not a door. I'm surprised Mitty has been psychotically wandering this whole time. Alright, and then in terms of barricades, I'll just do slate. We're going to add slate barricades to the turrets here. Designing it like this will make it harder to rearm these barricades, or rearm the turrets mid-combat. But it will also provide cover for the turrets, which is going to be helpful. Just a suggestion, replace the wooden part of the wall with stone. Literally not possible until I get moisture pumps. That's why I'm researching moisture pumps right now. In order to build on water, you need to dry up the water first. So I am working on that, but it requires some research. But I'll start running the cables out to where the moisture pumps will go. All right. And there we go. Now that we have a slightly more sensible way to get past our own chunks, it won't be so annoying to crawl past that once it's all hauled away. Perfect. That's better. Well, those are all really good projects, I think. Rise it. I did say that I wanted to try to have you have a offspring with Mawub, so let's try that now. A strong stomach and robust digestion are both ones that we wanted to inherit from pigskins. It does have the trotter hands and pig nose that we're trying to avoid, but I think I'm actually going to grow this egg and then try to isolate those two genes that we wanted from that egg through further hybridization. That seems to be... That's going to be the call I'm going to make here. Now, at some point, introducing a proper maze would be best, but for now, at least this maze generally kills off any organics that are incoming. So it will fulfill our purpose for now, but that will probably get overhauled at some point. And we're keeping most of our people pretty busy just cremating, or not cremating, smelting. Oh, that's cute. Mad Mega Scarab. How are you even going to get to me? You're not. That's what I thought. Hey, Steph. I grew you to be a combatant. This is exactly what I want you to do. Exoticus trader flying overhead. Awesome. Wendy, let's trade. I don't have a lot of money, but I do have some soothers that I could buy. Mini horns and wake up resistant, psi extreme, super size sensitive, but unattractive. Green and no hair. Heavy jaw. Alright, so those aren't that important. Death rest serum might not be terrible if I can afford it somehow. We'll see. I can sell these eggs because we already determined that those are dead-end eggs. I think I would prefer the Insanity Lance over the serum But we do also have... No, let me trade that back. I could sell plasteel to cover some cost. We have tons and tons of plasteel. I don't think that's entirely unreasonable. Sell off the hyperweave because there's nothing we can do with 19 of it. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. So let's go back here. Death Rest Serum. And then Insanity Lance. Eggs. I don't really need the mining trainer anymore because I can design my own miners. So I'll sell that as well. The melee and the cooking, I'll sell the cooking. We're pretty much just content on having the robots cook for us. Okay, good. That'll work. I wanted to keep the Lucy. It's still a possibility that Wendy will decide to become a Luciferian addict for power. And a growth moment of Slothful for Monarch. It's annoying, but I can always implant Fast Runner or something like that to remove, to increase speed. So Monarch so far is just Slothful. Low hasn't gotten any traits, and Guero is Annoying Voice and Gourmand, and might end up being a bit of an egg donor. We'll see. Alright, so Steph has now killed off all of the Mega Scarabs that were left on the map, so I don't have to be annoyed when they go mad. And Bryzette, let's go ahead and have you apply the Neurocomputation Tech Print. Get that one as well. Something else I wanted to do is get a Cataphract helmet for Wendy. There was a lot of YouTube comments of like, she looks really weird without a helmet on, and I agree, but also we should protect her face and neck, because that's where a vampire is most vulnerable. Alright, looking pretty good. As long as Randy doesn't throw me any curveballs, looks like I'll be able to get a pretty decent amount of this project done. How much granite is out here? Okay, so there are some granite chunks out there. So I think what I'll do is I will also decide on having this be where I double up the western wall. Is it worth adding stone deadfall traps to the path of the kill box? No, but it is worth having a second path. So probably one of the most effective ways to deal with raiders. You have Sapper Breacher raiders that have to be handled differently, as well as paw drop raiders when they drop inside your perimeter. For the raiders that have to come through and be funneled by you, in my opinion, dealing with the organics is easiest by just setting them on fire, because that's the cheapest way to do it. And then dealing with robots, you can have a separate path. So like 3 mazes, you know, a fire maze, a regular maze, and a fire maze. And the regular maze is when you have mechanoids, or yeah, basically just mechanoids, and you put your deadfall traps for mechs. And then you open and close the doors depending on who's attacking you, so that you have redundancy with the fire maze, because it takes a little bit of time to reset a fire maze. And then with the mech maze, you can just have a lot of built extra traps that you can install when you need them. So that's probably how I'd want to design. So this is a very unique opportunity here. I can have 23 manhunting grizzly bears attack the workshop 19 hours after I accept this quest. And I'm going to accept this quest definitely, but I'll have you guys decide upon the rewards, and then I'm going to try to have these bears kill a mech boss for me. because I'm lazy. So, what reward from killing the bears? We've got honor and 3 honor and a molecular analysis tech print. Oh man. We've got a assault rifle, masterwork, or LTEX. This one took me a while to type up. Sorry about that. So there it is. You decide on the rewards. And then I think what I'll do is I will try to signal in a mech boss to attack me. And right as I do that, I will accept that quest and have that mech boss fight the bears. So will 3 honor make any difference to Bryzet? That's a good question. Right now, he is a acolyte. And no, he will not become a knight with 3 more honor. He'll get close, but not fully there. Here you go, buddy. We almost have moisture pumps done. The vulnerability when we are trying to moisture pump out this wall here is that we won't actually have a perimeter on the west side until the moisture pumps are actually finished. A little sketchy, but like, it's fine. Let's update the home zone. Looks fine to me. This is also going to require Rosie to do a lot more cleaning. Luckily, she's not paid by the hour. And also, she can't complain, because she's a robot. Another zone that I wanted to make would be the, I'm going to call it bunker, for lack of a better term. It's basically when we need to stay inside. Sort of the emergency zone. It looks to me like you guys want the rifle, harp, and throne. Got it. The next question I have for all of you is then what mech boss to kill? So here's a thought. Right now we have some Pollux trees trying to manage the amount of pollution that we generate, but there's really no way that the Pollux trees can keep up, right? We're making more pollution than they're able to absorb. So one of the things that we could do is to start to kill apocrytons in order to turn the apocryton chips into waste pack atomizers so that we can atomize waste. And that way we don't have to just haul it out into the wasteland here and let it decay. It's fine to let it decay. I don't think that's ever really going to come back to haunt us. It's not like wasters pose much of a threat to the colony for the most part. Alternatively, we could kill some additional Dablises to make another bandwidth pack for Bryzet to have his own bandwidth pack, because right now Bryzet's relying upon an array headset in order to control the work mix, which is fine, but if we added a bandwidth pack, he could actually wear a real helmet, which would protect him a bit better. We could also kill the war queens, and with all of those, we could also make implants. So we could do implants from Diabluses for crafting speed. We could do implants from Diabluses for gestation speed. We could do implants for repairing or remote shielding and stuff like that. So, what mech boss to kill? Looks like T saying you're not really working on this helmet all that much. Oh, you know, no, never mind. I thought the helmet was maybe below the components and advanced components, but that's not the case. He's just taking his sweet time. All right, moisture pumps are done. Let's go back to... It looks like Apocryton's winning, so I'm going to start researching Waste Pack Atomizer, as they likely go hand in hand. So Mob Wub was the longest ovum, and that's still 7 days. And there's no one imprisoned except for Rorift, actually. So let me go gene scan Rorift. Thank you, Mitty. Yeah, this is looking good. So the turret updates have... The turret's updates have definitely going to benefit us, I think. The other thing about the Apocryton and the bears is I'm going to want to kick this off before Wendy has to death rest, because I don't want to risk running out of time. Okay, Apocryton's at 100%. Right now I have a signal power focus chip and a nano structuring chip. I'm just mentioning it so that you guys know what I have. Let's go ahead and make an Apocryton dish, so that way we can summon another one in. If it was up to me, I would have just named it Apocryton Dish, so as to not have any confusion about what it was. Really, Mess? Maybe that was a cathartic fight. That's my hope. Let's see. Social with Wendy. No, it was not. You have a weird question. The wall of the main building is limestone, yeah. It was just some limestone that I had purchased early on. Alright, Apocryton threat. And quest for the bears. For me to properly prepare for this, I'm going to have a mechanoid. I'm going to have Kish. No, maybe not Kish. Daka boy. You're going to wait here at this door and close it when we need it closed. And then for me to prep for the Propocraton, I'm going to wall up the doors that we have so I can control the bears, sort of. And then mechs so that you're not caught outside behind the walls. And then, in fact, all the colonists behind the walls. Hey! We have a masterwork helmet. Nice. Forbidden that, because that's going to go straight to Wendy. The bears will take 19 hours to arrive, yeah. So the hope is that the Apocraton arrives, and as it's staging to attack me, the bears come. Luckily, the Apocraton isn't a breacher. So what I can do is, if, like, let's say the Apocraton's on the east side, I can open up a west door. Or if the Apocraton's on the west side, I can open up an east door. So the Apocraton has to march towards me for the maximum duration possible. That way, if there is a case where the bears and the Apocraton don't overlap, I've created a situation where they're most likely to fight one another. And Daka Boy right now is just being a dorm in here. Because if I get attacked by anything else, before the Apocraton or bears show up, I don't want my doors closed, because that causes a whole separate set of problems. I'm running out of room for my, at some point I'm going to need, like, a death casket room. Alright, the other thing I could start to do for the other colonists is getting recon armor. So I'm going to do recon armor until I have one. I want recon armor that's 98 plus, made by T-Sang. And we'll move this up top. And that will allow Steph and Bryset to get recon armor. And then eventually I'll work on helmets as well. You've got 16 days left of life before I have to administer drugs or you die. That's fine. And then the longest egg timer is 6 days. Because I have to feed the prisoners, and I don't want to feed them rice, because that's what I'm putting in the vats, and I don't want to feed them cannibal food, because that's what I eat. It's nice to have them fight each other with Berserk, and then clean them up. Wendy, your accuracy is, like, so bad right now. I know Fennec Foxes are small, but what gives? There we go. A little better. So the accepting of the bears was 9 hours ago, so in about 10 hours they will arrive. And my hope is that they overlap with the Apocraton. If not, you know, I'll just kill an Apocraton anyway. It's not the hardest thing I've ever done. I like how the quest warned me that they're passing through, and as long as I don't harass them, they won't get hostile. And then here they are getting super harassed, and they haven't even turned on me yet. They're just like, oh, okay, sure, yeah, shoot me. This is fine. Alright, all of them are dead. Good job, Wendy. Sylvan, thank you for the resub, by the way. I totally missed that from a long time ago. I'm actually going to change where this door is located. I think it makes the most sense for the door to be just above where this door is, so it's convenient. And then there should be enough room. Yeah, okay, yeah, there is enough room for the geothermal. Perfect. I had attempted to design it smart like that. Guero's about to have his growth to become an adult, so fingers crossed that it's not useless traits like it has been so far. Question for all of you. What should I do with the nano chips? There it is. So we do have an Apocryton incoming. It would be good to know what I'm doing with the dead Apocryton. I think what I'll do is I'll just put one moisture pump here, and then if I have the rest of all the defenses built and this moisture pump hasn't expanded enough, I'll just build extra moisture pumps. You are Go Juice deficient. Oh, here comes the Manhunter pack. So, Daka boy, behind the walls, close that door. And then also, let's wall that up. I'm going to double check that the behind the walls zone has us only traversing where it is actually safe. Yep. I don't see any holes in it or anything like that. Looks good. And the bears are converging exactly where I want them to be. So, fingers crossed that the Apocryton comes while the bears are active. There's a likelihood that the bears will leave before that becomes the case. Unfortunately, I didn't clean up the fennec fox corpses, so these bears could also just end up eating those corpses out of boredom. But whatever. That's just how it goes sometimes. Wendy's really getting a whole lot built, which is great. So it looks like we're going to make atomizers out of the nano chips. What should I do with the power focus chip? So let's figure out what I can make out of that, right? So one of the things to make out of the power focus chip would be a remote shielder to allow one of the Mechanators to be able to remotely shield someone. I could also make the what is it called? The integrator headset for additional bandwidth. I'm gonna say not that, because it's a headset that will eventually decay, so it's limitedly useful and it will eventually decay into nothing, whereas the implants won't, provided the person stays alive. So we have remote shield, remote repair, or maybe gestating a mech. We could gestate a centurion, which is it's an okay robot. I don't know. I'll have you guys decide what to do with the War Queen chip. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Biotech, the first Wendigo, which originally streamed live on Twitch January 15th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Wendigo.